Hi, welcome to the Anime Social Club. We hope you enjoy your stay.
That was pretty fun.
Your friend will catch cold sleeping like that.
I'm home, everyone!
Just a humble bounty hunter, man.
All right. And yeah. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Anime Social Club once again with your boy, Kid Benji, like we do every single week. And yeah, finally, everyone is, we're back. Everybody's on the stream. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yo, this is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. I'm still alive.
He's still alive.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow
How's slaying some orcs, conquering some questing?
It's going pretty slow. My assignments are still like active, but yeah, I would imagine that would be like slaying orcs.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Almost done.
So if you guys didn't know, Ayo's been really busy with schoolwork. Just kidding. He hasn't been playing WoW the entire time. Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, Ayo, how have you been?
I've been good, just busy. I'm happy that I have an off day today. I'm happy to be on the stream.
I'm happy to have you on the stream, my dude.
Yes.
What about you, Kuro? How's your week been?
Pretty fine. A little busy, but not terribly awful. So, woo.
Nice.
The semester's not in the hard part yet for me. So.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know what that's like because I already graduated. So yeah, get fucked. But in other news, yeah, it was a great week. Awesome week. Enjoying being alive and watching anime. But to transition terribly into today's topic, before that, I want to remind you, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can always find an audio version if you prefer that, or catch us live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch. You can participate in the chat and hang out with us. Also, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this where you share things. And yeah, everything that you do for us supports and, just helps makes the stream and content better. So you can find us Anime Social Club on YouTube or Anime Social Club on anything that has podcasts on it. So like literally everything in existence.
You can also join the Discord server.
Also join the Discord server, !Discord in the chat, as well as check the panels down below. Yes, you can come and abuse me live every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can give me your shitty anime takes, and I'll tell you how wrong you are and embarrass you, like I do you guys every week.
Or think you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, buddy. Keep telling yourself that. Anyways, so for this week, we actually have a ton of things that we want to get out. This is going to be more of like a news week, which I kind of like to do every so often. As you see by the title, obviously, we're going to be talking about China and their potential effect on the anime industry. We're also going to be talking about what we watched this week, which I am, intrigued to see what Etyo's been up to in his absence. Hopefully he's seen some anime. I, on the other hand, have been a good weeb, and I've started a bunch of seasonals as well as some out of seasonal stuff. And Kuro, I believe you've been watching a pretty good amount, a little bit, but not a lot, just a little bit. Yeah. I'm the only true weeb here. And then finally, we're gonna go over the awards for end of the year anime awards thing. Sorry, I'm like trying to remember it as I say it. Right, Kuro?
Yes.
And we'll be giving a little bit of a breakdown on the format. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Sorry, the notification's broken. It's covering Kuro's face. Oh my God. My bad. So yeah, we're gonna go over that. We're gonna tease it a little bit. We'll be informing more later on down the road, but we kind of just wanted to put the spark in your brain by going over kind of the format a little bit. We're still ironing some details out. But apart from that, we're just going to go ahead and jump into our first topic, which is Chinese cartoons and the effect of China on the anime industry. So if you guys don't know, there is a lot of controversy and issues going on right now in China between Hong Kong and the Chinese government itself. Protests, a lot of craziness just happening over there, which we obviously hope for the safety of everyone involved. It would be best if people just don't get hurt altogether. But unfortunately, as such, is with countries that are superpowers, they tend to have overreaching effects. Even here in the U.S., with companies such as Blizzard, in the news recently. What was the other big company that got hit? I know Apple had some issues in regards to some things with the Taiwanese flag, and even Endgame as well had some issues with China too, censoring Tibet in their movie. But one of the obviously to us the biggest concerns is what's going to be China's effect on anime as a whole, and if it's going to if we're going to start to see any negative effects on it overall. But before we get into that, I just wanted to read to you some restrictions that.
Yes, they're interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of really weird things. And so kind of the way it works, from a lot of the reading that I've been doing, is they have their own Ministry of Culture that analyzes everything that comes into their country, to the point where all the scripts, everything gets reviewed, and then it's solely up to their discretion. So content that propagates obscenity, gambling, violence, or instigates crime, content that propagates evil cults or superstition, content that endangers public ethics or the fine folk cultural traditions, content that insults or slanders others or infringes upon the lawful rights and interests of others.
And that's the most crazy thing of all.
Yeah. So
because what does that even mean? What is the rights of others?
Exactly. So just to name a couple anime that are banned right now: Attack on Titan, Psycho Pass, Death Note, School Days. These are all blacklisted shows, as well as one example of their discretion is that Darling and the Franxx was put on the list, but then taken off during the spring. So they can really just go however they want to go about doing these things. So the question arises, what is going to happen to anime? As are we going to see a lot more censorship in anime? Are we going to see more effect of it on our side too, considering the market for it is fucking huge? There is so much money. There was an estimated 21 billion for anime in China in 2017. So and you can only see that number rising. But so what are your just general thoughts on it as a whole? So we'll go with Etyo and then we'll jump over to Kuro.
In regards to China specifically, I think that a lot of the anime that will come into China will be very popular, but I don't think it will stop. I don't think it'll stop anyone from watching. It may affect the business a little bit, but it's the same as what business in the Western world has affected the Japanese industry in the same way. People are still going to pirate things. You can still get around it even in China. The only problem is that in China it's just harder to actually find the information to be able to look for it. So I think overall it won't affect it more than it already has. So the result that we see now, I think the result will continue at a steady pace at that level, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Kuro?
What I find interesting is I don't think it'll affect native, not native, but the just plain Japanese studio productions, but I think this might have an effect on Netflix produced anime. since Netflix is a bigger industry and they get like they're international, so they get a lot of money from China, and they may focus more on censoring stuff in their anime so that they don't lose the Chinese market.
All right.
And I don't know if this is necessarily why, but an actual example that could link to this, I mean, that's just a really far stretch, but I mean, Seven Deadly Sins this season is extremely censored for no reason. Like, I don't know why. But like the blood is not blood colored. They made it like whatever that like weird effect that they do when they censor blood in anime is, and they like blacked out like gore and stuff. So it's very interesting. And yeah, I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't see it affecting like most of the Japanese studios or like how they make their anime, because like as much as the anime industry makes money off of China, I don't think Japan necessarily cares about appeasing like China. But I do think Netflix made anime will probably have an effect on that, or any like outsourced stuff outside of Japan. So like perhaps other countries that are working on anime might focus on not upsetting the Chinese market.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is My Hero Academia also on their blacklist? I'm quite curious because that has a lot of patriarch. You know, it's very American.
Yeah.
In the way that it talks about freedom and liberation. So it's really interesting.
I'm surprised a
wondering.
lot more stuff isn't like blacklisted. But I don't know. Maybe some stuff might seem like too much of a stretch for them, and that's why it's not like blacklisted. I mean, I don't know if they necessarily care about blacklisting like Americanized shows just because like they don't like us, but like we have a cooperative relationship with them. So
yeah, I was more referring to the statement anything that violates the Chinese constitution or national unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity that threatens that. I feel like a lot of stuff is banned because of that.
yeah,
Especially like Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I really like, after listening to you guys, I actually have a couple things that just popped into my head, and I think for the most part, anime in general is gonna be pretty much untouched, because if you look at all these other industries, that was the other one, was the NBA. The NBA, big tech companies, and like Blizzard, right? China has their hands in those companies, so they have a controlled stake, right? Whereas anime, they don't have a controlled stake in it. They're actually struggling, trying to emulate the Japanese style and create content that solely propagates from their original in-house creations. Because as in the article stated, that they tried to do state-sponsored medium that was entirely produced in-house, webcomics series and stuff like that, but it completely failed because people were still craving the Japanese media, because it was such a refined and nearly perfected art by them, because they are the ones who made anime what it is today. So one, China doesn't have like their hands in the Japanese pockets. Two, censoring has been going on for a really long time in anime. Even when you go back into the 90s, and when they would I've heard of them censoring certain episodes of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon for like religious beliefs here in the US. To back then, when I guess conservative values were directing their hate towards the idea that you're gonna get demon possessed if you watch Pokemon. You know what I mean? So they were pandering. So Japan pandered to them, which probably wasn't that big of a deal for them, but they're just like, stupid Americans, like here's your censored show. But we do get censorship to a degree, and they seem to have found a way to make censorship to where it's not intrusive enough to where you can still enjoy what you're watching. Because we'll get it every so often in seasonal anime, which is super fucking annoying. Like, I wish there was just an option where we can get uncensored everything. Because I think there's a big enough market for it at this point, considering like all the people that grew up watching anime are a lot older, so they'd be more willing to invest into your streaming platform to like, or not like, I would fucking hate it if you had to pay for uncensored anime, first of all. But second of all, that should at least be like an option. Like, we get like YouTube Kids, we get like Netflix for children, right? Well, then give us anime for adults, or make anime for kids, right? Separate the two, because that's really annoying. You're detracting from like the overall experience. When you're watching something, you just get fucking black bars in the screen.
I mean,
Yeah.
thinking about it, the majority of paid subscriptions would be by adults.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
So-
I have no, like, what are you censoring for in that case? You know what I mean? Like I get like a lot of kids come in and watch it, but it's like, they're at some point you have to recognize like, hey, the majority of your audience is adults, and they are the ones consuming your content on a day-to-day basis. But
Yeah.
It's fascinating that you say that though, because I think that the platform for anime has completely changed since I started watching it as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I think the demographic will always be 15 to 25 years of age, always, no matter what. So it never goes past that, because as people grow up, they start watching anime, and younger people start watching anime again. I mean, even on our Discord server, there's people who are 15, 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're always going to be there, and they're always going to watch anime, and they're always going to get recommendations from the people who are in their early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a cycle like that. Not to completely destroy your statement, I think there's always a place for censorship, because there's always going to be those who are going to require it.
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with movies, right? Movies come from
Yeah.
this like center point of the thing that gets the most popularity, but then from that branches out into other different genres of the medium that you can experience for like like an older audience, or an audience that
Yes.
doesn't strictly just want to be entertained the entire time, right? So like when it comes to anime, like we started off with the generic shonen actiony stuff, right? That was like super huge, that created the boom. But then we get these other projects that stem from this center beginning point, right?
Yeah.
So because we're getting more of these projects, we get a more diverse like a more variety of types of shows. In that variety, that's where you get the more mature themes, more developed ideas and themes that attract a larger range of audience from an older spectrum. So it's not just that you have all these kids, but they're mostly watching just like one or two shows, whereas the plethora of content that has been coming out within the past few years, like it is more geared toward like I would say older people, because you're getting a lot more themes and ideas that question a lot of situations that you only really, I mean, not only really, but more likely to encounter like, later in life, or just more heavier topics that I would say appeal to an older audience in regards to like, thinking about the situation or how the characters react, even if they are, for the most part in high school.
Yeah.
We'll like I'm hoping that we're gonna get more anime, like people that are older and like that are outside of that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's
I hear your
progression.
position. That's a pretty interesting suggestion, but I think as from a business point of view, that may be detrimental to the current anime industry, because what you're going to do is you're going to create a separation.
Oh, I'm not saying to like eliminate, but what I'm saying is that like they're
you
like,
won't eliminate it, but you'll intentionally eliminate it.
I just want uncensored stuff. That's my original point. Uncensor everything. Holy shit.
It's hard to do that though from a business perspective.
Yeah. I'm just praying that they do. Please.
But one of the other interesting things about the Chinese industry is because Chinese industry produces Chinese anime, which is very much, I mean, you can tell that the story is Chinese, but it's definitely based on the Japanese style of anime.
Which is why it has traction.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you guys earlier because I'm wondering, so I know that like obviously the anime that they create has to follow their criteria of like what they accept and don't accept in their country, because people are going to be watching it in their country. And so I found it interesting with Modao Zushi because the original novel is a LGBT novel. And they signed on for 3 seasons, and this last season, I mean, the way they've been writing it since the beginning, they've been skipping around a lot, and it's like still fine to follow, but they've cut out a lot of novel material. And so far, it definitely looks like they're cutting out all of the LGBT stuff. I wasn't sure if they were going to or not. But so I find that interesting, and I don't know how that but I don't know how like the novel did in China.
Or whether or not that was censored.
Yeah. Well, it's like a written novel. It wasn't like a manga or anything.
Oh, they censored that even.
Oh wow. Well, no, it wasn't censored. I read it.
Okay.
It's not censored. Okay. But so that's what confuses me. Like their censorship laws are interesting to me, and especially seeing that if they want to jump more into the anime industry and they want to be successful in it, they are gonna have to step outside of their censorship laws. And I'm gonna watch King's Avatar, but I would find it interesting if someone like more familiar with the Chinese like censorship did watch Modao Zushi and tell me like what they think, like if it crosses anything, because I really do feel like, especially from reading the novel, that I don't know how like why they even chose to sign on to it with how much that it is. I don't know, it just goes against their censorship rules. I mean, it's a popular novel, so I think that's why they chose to do it, because it's very popular. They even did a live action film of it. So it's big. But I don't know, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Hikari says, kids don't read books, let them write what they want. I don't think I agree with that statement, especially not in China, dude. I think they don't really they censor top down. They don't censor kids, they censor adults, and adults censor kids.
He said,
all right. Okay. Just making sure.
Making sure. What on the point that Kura was saying, one, I do want to touch on Japanese influence on Chinese made anime. But before that, it's like when Kuro first showed me Modao Sushi, I was pretty intrigued that like they like you said, they let this through, like a show that's even associated with LBGT themes, right?
Yeah.
That they would even allow it to be produced and made, which makes me think that like they either like they probably think that they can't touch anime in some perspective, or they just don't really view it as a threat, I guess. Because
they might be more open to it now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the central story of Modao Zushi is not LGBT. It just is like a side thing. But so it's like easy, quote unquote, to cut out because it doesn't like affect the main story at all. But like you said, it's still interesting that they chose to do that. Also, Commission says, honestly, second season Modao Zushi confuses me. Yeah, it's because they're cutting out a lot of manga material and they're jumping around very differently than the novel did. And I think they're doing that to avoid the LGBT moments. Though it's still interesting to me because they put in some scenes that were still very like, I don't know, me knowing that that's what it is. I was like, oh, that's like a nice moment between the two. So, but so like they were still putting like kind of stuff in. So I don't know. Like I'm interested to see how they're gonna, because none of it really shows up until the end. So I'm interested to see the ending of the anime.
Yeah,
that could just be like friendship intimacy, like the brotherly friend or the sisterly friendship.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. They could just see it like that. They literally could.
Dude, when you said,
well, not if you read the novel.
when you said that, I could just imagine the Big Brother Chinese government official knocking at the door. It's like, hey, are they gay? I'm like, no, they're just friends. What?
Oh, they are gay in the novel. They are very gay in the novel. So, Kumushin, I would recommend finding the novel. There are translated chapters available on the internet. I forget the website that I read it off of. Because I don't think the webcomic /manga follows it super well either. I also don't really like the art But I would definitely recommend the novel because it's very good. I just watched the anime as like a side piece to the novel, and it does well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just find it interesting. I'm excited because they signed on for 3 seasons, though I don't know if it'll actually finish because they're only like a quarter of the way through right now. So season 2. But if they do choose to end it, I'm interested to see how they choose to. If they're just going to cut it out completely or what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they noticed that the Fujoshi are a big base now. They're like, we can make money off of this.
I doubt it. I don't think. Yeah. To go back to also what Benji said earlier about your idea of creating an adult anime section, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think that would, in China specifically,
I just need a switch. Just give me a switch that says, like, you know, you change the quality from HDMI to 1080.
Yeah.
Change it from censor. No censor.
They won't do that. In China, they won't do that. It's possible maybe in America.
Yeah.
In China, definitely not. I just want to clarify that.
I refuse to watch the 7 Deadly Sins season. I mean, it's going to be bad anyway, but because of how bad the censoring was that I saw, like, I was like, that just ruins the show. Like, it's bad.
I will say, though, I'm not really concerned for anime whatsoever. It's a very weird anomaly that seems to be, for the most part, untouchable. Like, the Chinese government just doesn't fuck with it. Like, these dudes went after Apple. They went after the NBA. They went after, like, they're going after all these people, right? But anime is just like, we chilling. You know what I mean?
It's because it's a Japanese industry. Like, Japan and China don't like each other.
Exactly.
So Japan is not going to let their market be dictated by China as much as they can.
Oh, no, they won't.
So, I mean, obviously they can't help it if some stuff is because China is a big boy.
Yeah.
But they'll continue to make. But that's why I said it might be interesting to see what Netflix does because Netflix is not affiliated with Japan necessarily.
All that money.
And they like their money. So they might let some of the Netflix made anime be affected by the Chinese market.
Yeah.
But anything.
I doubt it. I doubt it because they've got, it's America.
America loves their money.
Yeah, but America also doesn't want to start trouble with China.
That's the point. That's why I'm saying they would like make sure that their anime is in line with what the Chinese requirements are.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so they might let the anime be changed or censor it as seen in 7 Deadly Sins because it would be available in China at that point, and they want to make money.
It seems like the only thing that they really do, like we said earlier, is that they just blacklist shows. But then again, they're not opposed to letting those shows back in, like they did with Darling and Franks, right? But you know, overall,
those shows that you listed are definitely going to stay blacklisted.
Yeah. I mean, but one of the crazy things was like that Weathering for You.
That got blacklisted?
No, it didn't get blacklisted. It made $41 million and within 14 weeks of release.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Japan's. It's the highest grossing Japanese movie in China, which is crazy because they don't really like.
Do you know
movies.
what caused that? Do you know what caused that?
What?
Your name. Your name caused that.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's your name.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why people went to watch it. They only went to watch it because they went to see your name and they wanted the same experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only reason. But I want to add. I don't think Netflix will do that. What Netflix will do is they'll be smart. They will only give anime on their Netflix that doesn't need to be censored, and then what they'll do is they'll advertise it as, oh, you can have Netflix account and you can watch anime there, and then they won't be lying, and then you buy into the subscription and they have their money, and then you can still watch anime, just not all of it. That's the way that they'll do it.
Yeah.
If they do, that's the way they do it in that's the way they do it in every country.
That's a good point because Netflix can choose what anime is or what shows are listed in each country. So like certain anime are available in other countries that aren't available in America, which I'm kind of mad about. Like there's some of the European Netflix like associations, they have some good anime on there and like Netflix does not. So
VPN.
Yeah, you need VPN.
But I would say then, like, before we touch on the cultural, I mean the stylistic influence of Japanese on Chinese, overall, anime is cool. Like, it's not gonna get a super huge spear through its heart like the NBA or Blizzard or any of these other major companies are. They seem to be in a good position for the most part.
They don't give a fuck what China says.
Yeah. But so I want to talk about some noticeable things that I saw in Chinese anime, right?
Yes.
So I experienced
You mean Chinese cartoons?
Chinese cartoons, yeah. So I watched some Chinese cartoons with Etyo a couple weeks back before he left me, and we, like, as I was watching the King's Avatar, there's a lot of very interesting things that they do. So it seems like they don't fucking care about CG. It's literally just used as a placeholder element. They seem to go all in on like the main assets, so like the main character, the action that's happened immediately on screen. The background and the foreground seem to be secondary, or they just do enough to where it doesn't look like complete trash. They just do what they deem to be like necessary parts of the show's components to make it flow. Two, there is not like the storytelling style. Granted, this is all just coming from King's Avatar. The storytelling style seems to be Japanese derived, but American driven. Because when I was watching King's Avatar, like shows like, Justice League, Teen Titans, a lot of the more edgier, earlier Cartoon Network shows, their writing style, I would say, would be akin to anime, but not directly. Even Avatar as well, The Last Airbender. The Japanese style of creating the narrative felt more akin to that, as opposed to just directly Japanese. I mean, this could be more so because I don't really know Chinese culture that well, and that just may be how their culture operates in some sense, but the storytelling didn't really fall one way or the other. It did feel unique enough to where I knew I was watching a Japanese anime, or sorry, a Chinese cartoon. And then the last thing is they seem to have taken all the tropes from anime, so like like typical MC tsunderes, a lot of these things that we see commonly in anime, they seem to have taken those, and then they like to emphasize them with like a lot of emotes around them, or add a lot of stylistic things,
Which is
not necessarily the character themselves being expressive, but more so adding things that aren't natural to a character to make them appear a certain way, right? I mean, this may just be like exclusive to the King's Avatar, though.
This is, you go.
I think it's actually very like integrated into the Asian culture. The way that emotes play a role. Like, I've seen many even like live action Asian movies where the same thing takes place.
Really?
Where emotes just have such a massive impact on the way that people express themselves. There was literally this one movie, SPL: A Time for Consequences 2, where there's an entire
The hell of a name.
dialogue in only phone emotes. Like,
So-
it's really like, it's quite integrated into the culture, socially speaking.
So I'm very interested to watch King's Avatar now because I actually had not that experience with Modao Zushi. Now, they're made from the same studio. I just checked. But
Oh, good.
first of all, the backgrounds for Modao Zushi are actually gorgeous. Not necessarily even when there's characters like they'll show like just like backgrounds for a bit, and like those are gorgeous. But when the characters are on screen, generally, I mean, there's some like dark and like a lot of foresty type scenes, but generally speaking, the backgrounds are really good. They have one thing that I commend, at least from seeing Modao Zushi, is that they have not mastered, but they are very good with CG and incorporating CG into.
You could have fucking
the
fooled
show.
me. Holy shit, the amount
Yeah.
of times in King's Avatar where I
No.
was like, CG.
The CG is like it literally looks real. Like the one character, the Cloud Recess, that's what the place is called. I mean, I'll send you pics afterwards. I mean, it looks fucking real. Like, I wouldn't think that it was animation.
It's
Wow.
it's probably because it's been filtered across an actual place.
Yeah,
So the way that
it's been paced correctly, and also, I mean, I thought King's Avatar was actually a lot older. I see it's 2017. This did come out in 2018. I mean, that gives them some time.
I will.
Hmm?
I want to defend King's Avatar just in regards to its CG, just for a moment, because they're actually an indie. They're completely indie. The creators of King's Avatar are not associated directly with a studio when they originally made their story.
That made more sense because they're produced by the same studio, but the directors are different. So
yeah, they funded majority of their story just through their own content that they wrote.
I want to say real quick, I'm thoroughly enjoy King's Avatar. Just want to say that. In spite of it.
But yeah, the action in Modao Zushi is awesome. By the way, some of the coolest fucking action. Very smooth. Like the animation is insane. In Modao Zushi, I'm very, very impressed. But one of the biggest things I noticed was that it does have a very Japanese storytelling method. The only reason, and this is also something that I think actually holds it back. Maybe that's just because I'm so used to watching Japanese media, but all of the names very Chinese, which I'm sure that's probably the same in King's Avatar. But the way that they format the show, there's so many characters. The names are very hard to get down at first because one, like this was my first Chinese anime. I didn't know anything about Chinese names, so it took me forever to figure out who was who. And it's I guess maybe similar to Avatar. It's a lot of clan warfare, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Clan battles. And so all the different clan names, all the different terminology, like it gets a bit difficult to grasp sometimes because it's very Chinese. But the storytelling itself is very Japanese, very, very anime-like. The characters are very anime-like. There's also like not really any girls, so I can't really say that it's got like your typical character tropes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can't really compare any of the characters to your typical like Japanese anime tropes, except maybe Fujoshi tropes. But even then, they're very subtle. So like I just noticed because I read a lot of Fujo stuff, but
true. Yeah,
and I know where it goes. But generally, like that is something that is unique to the show, and probably Chinese is the Chinese anime is that they do sort of have their own way of character writing, but the story itself is very Japanese esque. So it's interesting. It's interesting to hear how different King's Avatar sounds.
Yeah,
I'm
King's
still excited
Avatar.
to see it.
I think King's Avatar does have that aspect of the internet community, which makes the emotes also like very predominant as an important part.
Yeah.
I also just want to say in regards to the Americanized culture that you're noticing, that's actually just consumerism that you're seeing. And it's still very predominant.
That's just how Chinese, like it's Chinese culture. That's what I'm
it's just,
experiencing as I'm watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar in China in regards to that. But I think the biggest thing that you can notice the differences between King's Avatar and Japanese anime is that the way that respect is shown to higher authority is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
There's respect for the authority in Chinese cartoons, but the way, especially in King's Avatar, that it's shown is that it's a form of rebelling against it.
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle, but it's there.
See,
Whereas in Japanese anime, that's a little bit different. There's an honor system rather than a respect system.
Yeah.
Respect looks different in Japanese anime.
That's interesting.
I'm having an epiphany. Like I am now even more thoroughly confused how Modao Zushi is being allowed to be produced, because also like one of the main like earlier parts is in the clan warfare that there's a clan that sort of dictates over the other ones and they overthrow it, and it's like it's not subtle.
That sounds very.
Where's
that list? Where's that list? It goes. It's going against the morals.
Not subtle at all. So I'm very confused how this
Anything.
and like it obviously
anything
has
that
high
violates-
production. It obviously has high production value too,
Yo.
because like I said, it's gorgeous. It's really well done.
Either that
So-
or the entire Chinese government is just a bunch of fujos, and we don't know.
I
it.
think they it's got to be, or maybe they
That
realized
has
they were
to
like,
be
man,
it.
They were like, man, Japan's really making money off of these fujos. Like let's tap into it. Why not?
Yeah, like, and all the government officials started reading like boys love manga, and then they're like, oh my god, this shit's great.
they're like, all right, we're gonna do this. Yeah, let me look at this list real quick, and I can tell you, it probably does violate the Constitution. I don't know the Chinese
It totally
Constitution,
does.
but
Yeah,
it definitely
totally
does.
Yeah.
Definitely threatens unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Oh, totally. It's a like territory war almost. Whew.
Yeah, because the blacklist is terror in residence, right?
Yeah.
Like that's basically the same thing.
I mean, it's LGBT too, so it's definitely
Maybe they're blacklisting the shows that they're gonna produce.
It definitely violates the ethics of China's culture.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's very interesting because I'm very interested what I think they
Yeah.
really are starting to see the benefit of the Japanese market with anime, and they might be trying to actually compete.
Yeah,
I think
possibly.
that
Yeah.
could be what it is.
I mean, it does say like if you just read just a little bit down, though it's sometimes hard to understand when what applies. It's not a blanket statement, right?
Yeah.
This particularly here, that this part, maybe the Ministry of Culture just arbitrarily does what it wants and uses these partially vague censorship rules as a blanket card to justify any possible banning, making companies victims of the grace of the ministry. I mean,
Interesting.
I think that statement sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
pretty
true.
much.
And what we see, yeah.
Still, it's yeah.
I would especially
But
like
anyway.
second season. I can see them maybe trying to cut out some more of the stuff, but that first season, oh no, that whole first season's got to violate a shit ton of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see Morazushi. So if you guys haven't seen it, watch it. That and The King's Avatar, great shows.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's pretty much everything on the China situation. Any final thoughts before we move on? No.
No extra thoughts.
Cool. But yeah, so we definitely support for Hong Kong.
Mm.
So on to the next thing. Something I literally just remembered as we were talking. There was a guy in the UFC. Do you guys know what UFC is?
Mm-hmm.
UFC. For those of you who don't know, it's Ultimate
Yes.
Fighting Championship. It's MMA, mixed martial arts. Basically, these badass motherfuckers go, toe to toe, and they knock the shit out of each other, right? And it's
All
fucking
right.
sick. Okay, there is a guy from New Zealand. His name is Stylebender, right? This past weekend, he fought Whitaker for the I think it was the middleweight or welterweight championship, to be like the world champ basically. He knocked out Whitaker, and not only did he knock out his entrance into the ring, first he did a dance routine, and then he did Chidori. And then after he did Chidori, he went in the ring. They were announcing Whitaker's name. He takes out a notebook from his hand to pretend, and he writes in it really quick, and he puts a notebook and he just puts it away. And then he did that so that someone could take a picture, and then he put it on his Instagram. He superimposed Death Note on him as he wrote it. So he did the Death Note. He pretended to write knockout, down by knockout in his notebook. And dude, a weeb has actually won
That's amazing.
a fighting championship tournament. Oh my god,
fucking amazing.
IRL tournament arc. Like, okay. ever since I like saw Ultimate Fighting, like ever since like all this other shit, like I have waited for the day for a weeb to win some shit like this, and now we finally have it. It's so fucking crazy. And not only that, it was a clean ass knockout. Like this dude, like was it in Hajime no Ippo? Like his abilities, like he does like the counter punches and shit. Like that's what I was like, you know what I mean? It was just it was dope as fuck. Like it was such like, if you want anime in real life, watch Stylebender's fight. You can look it up on YouTube. It has a bunch of clips everywhere. But like you could tell, like in the comments, so many people were upset that he won, and nobody was saying it. But I knew they were just upset that a weeb fucking won, and that he Chidori'd on their ass before he got into the fucking ring. His name is Stylebender. This motherfucker is all in. He don't give no fucks. And it was hilarious listening to the announcers say Stylebender goes in for the for the hook and shit. And I was like, oh my fucking god. Because usually these people will have names like the Android or the Reaper. You know what I mean? These really dark, edgy names. His name is Stylebender. Fucking fucking Avatar type shit, So, but yeah, oh my god, that shit was great. But if you guys haven't seen it, look at the entrance, which was fucking great, and then look at him knock his ass out, which was even better. And look for the part where he does the Death Note thing. If you go on his Instagram, he has it all posted and everything. But oh man, this dude is just like next level, and I'm just so excited. I'm just so happy that this happened, man. This is a great day for Weebdom. So it's that was just a thing that I wanted to mention.
Thank you for distracting us. That was good. I loved it.
Yes.
I watched the fight live and I was just like, yeah, let's fucking, you know what I mean? I was in it. I was invested in it. I was also worried because if he lost and he did that, that's cringe.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did he win, but he knocked them out too. So. Okay, cool.
Goodness.
Next thing, what we watched this week, or since last time, Kura, what have you been watching?
I just finished Review Starlight. It was really good. I just started Utena today. Only watched 2 episodes, so don't ask me much about it yet. And I started the Wrestling Isekai. I think that's the only season I'll ever start, because most of the ones that I want to watch come out this weekend.
Nice.
Or next weekend. So, I'm considering starting Babylon. I've heard pretty good things about it, but I'm still a little hesitant. I might wait a little longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
But yeah, Wrestling Isekai was surprisingly extremely enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that at all. So that was nice.
Sure. What about you? Anything interesting you've been watching?
Yeah, okay, so for seasonals, I've already dropped one.
Oh no.
I dropped the isekai that involved what was it called? What's the name of this thing? The Cautious Hero, that's right. That's the one.
I heard a lot of people drop that. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped that one. I have really been enjoying John Cena, the Pet Lover.
John Cena, I love that.
Literally, that's literally John Cena, Pet Lover. It's so funny.
Yeah, and I've been watching the basketball anime, Ahiru no Sora, which is quite good actually. I find it endearing. And then I also watched one episode of Special 7 Special Crimes Investigation Unit. It's pretty bland, but I think I'll continue watching it. I also watched the recap episode of Sword Art Online.
Of course you did.
Which was
I remember everything. I
fantastic.
don't need that shit.
It comes out this weekend, doesn't it, SAO?
Yes, it does. Yes.
And then we got all the heavy hitters are coming out these next.
My Hero Academia is this weekend too.
Yeah.
And Psycho Pass as well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Seven Deadly Sins aired 2 days ago, sometime this week. Oh, when is Food Wars starting? Is that this weekend also?
2 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big weekend.
So we're just quickly touching on things right now, you guys. We are gonna have a first impressions podcast pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah. So was there anything else that you watched as well?
No. I saw that the Psychopaths movies are starting to release.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm planning to watch that. The SS ones, not the original movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I've been watching.
Sick. Well, me being an actual weeb, I have been watching a shit ton. So
What have you been watching?
I watched the Wrestling Isekai again. Fantastic.
Yeah, me and Benji watched it together.
Black Clover is fulfilling my shonen needs by giving me actually animated fights.
One Piece too. One Piece's last fight. Ooh.
Yeah, no one watches that though. And then the basketball, the basketball anime is actually surprising. Like Ayo said, like it's actually really, really Well, okay, not that many releases, but it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. There is a little bit of subtlety when it comes to revealing his talents and abilities.
Yeah, it's nice.
As cliche as they're doing it, it's still enjoyable. You know what I mean? They're not flat out saying he's just like this dude. You know what I mean? They like hint at his abilities to like be like this. You know, so it's cool. Plus, it's gonna be a 4-core. I am stoked for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I'm all for this. And then Blade of the Immortal came out today.
Oh, I gotta watch.
First 2 episodes. Which if all you guys aren't watching Blade of the Immortal, go fucking watch Blade of the Immortal because it is basically Ninja Scroll if it was an anime. And I know Ninja Scroll is an anime, but I'm talking about the movie because the movie was the only good thing from that entirety of the franchise. Okay.
You're wrong, but it's okay.
Whatever. So as I was watching Blade of the Immortal, right, there are a couple things that it does that I was very intrigued, right? I was like, why does it have the some of the aesthetic from these older shows, which is, you know, they use the oversaturation, you know, they'll use like a TV like glitch effect that I've noticed. And then even in the dialogue, there is kind of that I always refer to as like the Monogatari style of conversation in shows where they do a lot of quick cuts to emphasize the flow of conversation. But it wasn't necessarily hardcore within that style, but more so within it was just someone who understood the style and was using it. So I looked into who was the director of this anime, and lo and behold, one thing I did not expect is that this is the dude who directed all of Orange.
Orange was terrible.
Exactly. But this dude was a key animator on Ninja Scroll and Wicked City, Demon Beast City. I don't know if you guys have seen Wicked City. It's a really old movie, action movie. But these 2 movies were you can tell he's pulling influence from working on those movies into this one because of the style. He's also the director for Steins Gate, which shows why conversation is flowing the way that it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll explain that.
But still having the emphasis on action in the way that he's doing it, because he's worked on these old school anime that used, you know, the swords and the fighting and the demons and stuff like that. So it's all around, it's a lot of what I like. And it's over the top, it's craziness, it's badassery, like it does, like it confuses you, but then it unconfuses you. You know what I mean? Like it's a really cool experience. And I genuinely think like it's a very enjoyable watch. This might be my favorite show of the season. Very much so. Might be my favorite show of the season.
But it's a. I just want to say it's a remake, right?
It's a remake, yes. Yeah, because it was from 2008 release. But yeah, definitely check it out. Watch it. It's on Amazon Prime, but you sell the high seas, you can find it somewhere else. Other big news, Vinland Saga got their new OP and ED. OP isn't
I wasn't actually that into it. I didn't like the last OP either.
I like the last. I love the last OP. Fucking amazing. The ED right now though, the ED for Vinland Saga, for this current one is fucking great.
I didn't get to see the ED yet. Actually, I've only
watch
seen
it. It is great. It's
good to know.
Yeah, it's really good.
I actually liked the ED for the first ED was Aimer, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I liked the first ED.
Yeah, it was good.
Me
but
too.
I love this one. And then out of seasonal stuff. Ooh, out of seasonal. Benji got out of seasonal. Yes, I got out of seasonal, bitch. I'm fucking going in.
Actually, that reminds me. I watched a cross game with Maya as well. We watched 25 episodes.
Holy shit!
That's amazing.
Yeah,
you like
it's
it?
good. Yeah, she likes it. I've watched it. This is my second time watching it.
Oh, okay. That was your first time.
Yeah, it's so good. Man, I love that show.
I know. I definitely, eventually, I'm gonna watch it.
Get it, Benji.
Okay, so, you know, Chihaifuru is what it is, right?
I'm so tired.
It
I
is-
don't have the energy to fight
It
tonight.
is not on hold. I will tell you that. I'm gonna watch one episode whenever.
It's not on hold.
Whenever.
Ikari, you do the fighting for me in the chat.
I don't want to fight. Okay. What I'm trying to say though is that I took another recommendation, which was March Comes In Like a Lion or Sangatsu no Lion.
Yes,
Oh,
the
yes.
god tier, the god of anime.
God fucking. I have a theory that I need to look up, make sure I'm right, but I'm pretty sure people that worked on Angel's Egg, which is something else that I watch, someone had to be influenced by or worked on Sangatsu and were either, like I said, influenced or worked on Angel's Egg
I'm
as
the
well.
researcher right now.
The shadows that they used in Angel's Egg were so unique, and they were reminiscent of March Comes In Like a Lion.
I mean,
it was like, I don't know. I don't really see that style too much. Like,
I think March just super matches Shaft's style in general. So there might be a Shaft person who was on
Maybe.
Angel's Egg, and they pulled that over. I'm checking out
but that's just my big brain. If you find something, let me know. But yeah, I watched the first episode of March Comes In Like a Lion. It is fantastic.
I'm so excited that you loved the first episode so much because I mean the first episode is a fantastic first episode.
Momo
but
heals.
The second, like everyone raves about the second season.
Momo heals. I'll say that. Momo heals.
Interesting. I go to look at the Angel's Egg director. He ended up producing for Ghibli.
Oh, not surprised.
Interesting. I'm searching.
But okay, I'm going to go on to some other things. So I'm also one episode of Sangatsu, episode 2 of Gundam Thunderbolt, which is becoming my favorite Gundam show of all time. Jazz is the main soundtrack for the show.
Yep.
And
So good, isn't it?
Beautifully choreographed and directed, and it just times so well with the music. It's like, oh my god, rest in peace anyone else that tries to make mecha after watching this, because everything else just becomes a lesser experience, you know.
Benji.
Lush, what's up?
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I'm sorry. You're a god.
Am I a god?
The animation director for Angel's Egg worked on Monogatari. And Madoka.
Whoa, that's pretty impressive.
Yo,
You're a fucking god.
I'm a fucking god.
Like
No,
he
you're not.
always
No,
he
you're
always says like this reminds me of this like certain series, and you go and check, and he's been right every time so far. I mean, it does not say he has not worked on Sengatsu, but he worked on two episodes of Monogatari second season. Nisei, he was the animation director for, or no, Neko Monogatari, and he was the key animator for the Madoka Rebellion film and the Kizu Monogataris.
Oh, well, cool.
I knew there had to be some influence or correlation there. It was just too familiar.
That's crazy. He also did Summer Wars.
Oh, nice. I could see that. But yeah. So
That's
one,
fucking wild.
I'm a fucking god. 2, fuck you, Akari. He says watching Thunderbolt without knowing what the 1 year war is. Okay, yes, I know what it is, and no, I won't go. Well, eventually I'll go back and watch it because I do want to watch all of Gundam, but still, it's in and of itself, like it's still a great piece of work. Like it's just good. It's just good. It's just done well. That it's
Not
an
as well as Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, though.
True, but it's an enjoyable mech for pretty much anyone. I'm 4 episodes deep into Kokoro Connect. I am really liking it. That anime, probably I can see why it makes a lot of people mad or not like it because
I don't like Kokoro Connect.
because that anime personally attacks people. It 100% does. It doesn't.
I mean, it does. I didn't feel personally attacked by it. That's not why I
I'm
was
not
mad.
saying you, but what I'm saying is that from what I've watched in the show, Kokoro Connect doesn't follow a strict character type across it's fucking saying characters again, but across its characters, right? They don't follow this very strict atypical progression in terms of the development so far, to the point where it makes them feel more realistic as actual people that could exist. So therefore I can see it making reference to people that might feel like the show's talking about them, since it doesn't favorably portray some of the characters' tropes and attitudes.
Yeah, I feel like
in
maybe it was
certain
portraying
ways.
people I didn't like. So I was like,
And that could have been it. But I am
Yeah.
I am really liking it. It's
Mhm.
it's very I'm bring it up again. It's reminiscent of Kids Naive in the sense that it's like, it's using the body switch trope or the shared experience trope to kind of further drive the human experience. But I love that interpersonal connections when it dives deep into it and it explores that topic. I think it's great. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoyed it. It's probably become one of my favorite anime because I love Kids Naive so much and shows that just use that trope in general.
Mhm.
It's the reason why I like Sadazame so much. Interpersonal
Yes.
connections, and it was just
Yes.
a cohesive experience between all the people involved. But then apart from that, I watched a couple movies too. Angel's Egg, I finally saw that. Like I mentioned before, Big Brain. Holy shit! Don't watch that if you're tired. My God, it's gonna keep you
Don't.
thinking the entire fucking time. I came up with this whole theory and hypothesis that I preached to Aang and Kel last night, which I then went and looked up some stuff afterwards, and I'm pretty much more or less like in alignment with most people. And I saw one of the biggest. I was disappointed. I was
In what?
thoroughly disappointed last week. Okay, last week I saw a movie called Mary and the Witch's Flower. Now, if that's your favorite movie, more power to you. However, that movie is so disappointing. That I've never seen a main character lose favor so quickly. Like it just goes from, oh my God, this looks good. Like this is dope. This is gonna be a sick movie. And then it's like, oh dude, this character's fucking annoying. Like, oh my God. Like I kept looking at the time to see when the movie was up. And I watched it with Aang, and Aang was like had forgotten about the movie. She's like, why can't I remember this movie? And she's like, oh, I remember why I don't like this. Because one of the most unlikable main characters ever. Like she's just dumb, just a straight up dumb character. In the way that
The one in Angel's Egg?
no, the one in Mary and the Witch's
say?
Flower. Mary and the Witch's Flower. It's just a dumb character.
Yes.
But overall, yeah, I think that's that's everything. Right?
Announcement. I have an announcement.
Oh shit, yeah. So
well,
yes.
Yeah, well, two
Doing-
announcements actually, because
two
this one you
announcements.
guys don't know yet, but I'm just letting you know.
So that's everything. I just
so-
want to make sure everyone's good with everything. Watched?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Perfect.
or watched.
So first of all, next week we are introducing a fourth member of the podcast.
Oh shit, we are. Yeah. Yeah.
So that wasn't my initial announcement, but I was just saying that. So next week, we have a surprise fourth member joining us finally. So look forward to that. The week after that, I will not be here, but I thought it would be cool to say why, because I'm seeing the premiere of One Piece Stampede. So I'm excited. So I won't be here 2 weeks from now because One Piece. But yeah, so
which we'll review on our Sunday stream.
Yes. And so so now all that's out of the way. So I am hosting a Kitsu Anime Awards 2019, which is supposed to be our version of the Crunchyroll Awards. I have been putting it together like pretty much the whole year. And by that I mean just planning. I haven't actually started any of this stuff yet. But I'm going to. I have it organized. So, but basically, there's going to be a judges panel, which I have compiled of about 20 Kitsu users right now. And all of them have varying ranges of taste, and all of them are deep enough in seasonals to be able to give good nominations. And so the judges panel will be determining what anime gets nominated. And there will be 6 nominees for each category that I have selected. And after that, I'm going to start laying out the dates for when I'm going to have all that done. And then after that, I will be revealing who all the judges are and the nominees on Kitsu. And from there, voting will open and Kitsu gets to vote for the winners. There will be a people's winner and a judge's winner. So the Kitsu votes will be the people's winner, and the judge's winner will be whoever the judges vote for each category. So a lot of work for that. We're going to be hosting a stream, and my social club will be. for announcing the winners, and I'm going to be making some pretty cool videos for each category. And I'm also looking at making a website for the voting. So a lot of cool stuff with that coming up. I believe I'm not going to announce the date yet that we talked about, just in case we don't end up doing that date. But it will most likely be in January, I'm going to say. The winners stream. But event nominee selecting and voting will most likely all be in December. So gonna also say that.
Yes.
I was hopefully
talking to, yeah.
Hopefully by then there's enough of the fall season where we can sort of determine if anything is good enough for nominations. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not expecting anything except for the continuing series. I'm not really expecting any originals to be good enough to surpass a majority of other stuff that aired this year, but who knows, something can surprise us.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a couple I can think of already.
You never know. But I guess for people here, I can sneak peek the categories, because no harm in that.
That's cool.
I am also adding some categories. So I was originally going to do genres, but I decided that it's way too confusing for people to decide what genre certain animes belong to. Because most of the time they belong to more than one, so that's very confusing. But I still wanted to give more recognition to series, so this isn't officially listed yet, but I'm thinking about throwing in some categories of like best this kind of scene, like maybe most emotional scene, like obviously best fight scene would probably be in there regardless, but stuff like that to maybe get some more recognition in there. But the official categories I have are best opening, best ending, best protagonist season 1 series, so a series that premiered this year, and then best protagonist continuing series, because I figured it was fair to make them separate categories since there's like 8 million continuing series, let alone new ones. Best boy, best girl, best supporting cast, best movie. Debating whether or not we can keep that one in, just because a majority of us haven't gotten to see the movies that premiered this year because they're not legally available anywhere. Or even
I have.
Anywhere?
I will
find them. All legal.
Okay. I mean, I have not gotten to see any. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know when Weathering Into You is going to be available here.
Right. I went to see that already.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm seeing One Piece Stampede, so I can see that. But Promare was available here.
Trash. Don't waste your money.
On what?
Weathering with You.
Okay, no. We're not gonna turn this into a Weathering with You rant. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. She's gonna watch it, and then we'll have an actual conversation about it.
Either way, I'm gonna try to keep the best movie category in there. But if I find that most of the judges weren't able to see most of them because the premieres are varying in different countries, and typically illegally the films aren't out until the next year. So. It might be difficult for that one, but so those are like the character categories. Then I have best animation, best soundtrack, best cinematography, best director. I can tell that those categories are mostly going to be dominated by a few series, which I'm not going to complain either because it's very obvious. And then best continuing series, worst anime of the year, studio of the year, and anime of the year. Anime of the year will only be premiering anime for this year, so no season 2s. Plus.
So what you're saying is Vinland Saga is gonna win.
Yeah. Well, I've had my predictions.
Are you sure? Carol and Tuesday is pretty up there, dude.
Oh fuck, Carol and Tuesday. Oh, that's right. God damn it.
I actually have my predictions for. I think I have my predictions for the judges. I think obviously anime of the year for the people will be Demon Slayer, 100%. But for the judges, I'm predicting Vinland Saga or Kaguya-sama. That's my prediction.
Interesting.
Just because based on the judges because I can see the list of judges, you guys can't. But just based on their opinions, I think those two are the more. Yeah, Ikari, that's a relatively really liked one. My predictions for nominees are definitely Vinland Saga, definitely Kaguya-sama, definitely Demon Slayer. I mean, I know everyone has mixed feelings about Demon Slayer, but I might almost require that it gets nominated just because.
Oh no, it'll get nominated.
Yeah, it has to because that's just not fair. I'm expecting those 3 for sure. And then, I mean, The Promised Neverland was very popular, but among our judges, I'm not so sure.
No.
And
Run with the Wind, I think, will be up there.
well, that'd be on continuing series.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not because it started in 2018.
Yeah.
So that would have to be for continuing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I actually think Carol and Tuesday will probably get nominated for.
But
Anime
your
of the
ass
Year.
it
Not
will.
sure
Yeah.
for the win. I think it will get nominated. I'm expecting a wild card because the judges are nominating, right? So I'm expecting a wild card, and my prediction is that it'll be Stars on My. Just because there's an overwhelming number of judges that actually really liked it. So I am expecting that to possibly be the wild card. I don't think it'll win, but I think that's the wild card of being nominated for Anime of the Year. I want to say maybe Fruits Basket as like a quote unquote wild card. Obviously it's popular, but I don't necessarily know if it'll be nominated for Anime of the Year, but it could, with us at the least. But I'm honestly almost positive that Vinland will win for judges.
True.
It's pretty universally liked. So
Yeah.
one of the few that everybody kind of agrees on for the year. So, but I think it's interesting. Yeah, except you, Ayo, because you gotta be different.
No, I'm not different. I'm just
From New Zealand.
I just see through the cliches that they have produced.
I'm interested to see production stuff. Because like obviously
through the cliches, but likes isekai. No, continue.
Because it feels very obvious that Demon Slayer would win all the production stuff, but at the same time, we remember that Mob Psycho premiered this year, and I think both of those will be very close for everything production-wise. I'm hoping Sarazanmai gets nominated, even though I don't think it'll win, but I think Sarazanmai's animation at the least needs to get nominated because it was beautiful. And I think Sarazanmai, the only category I'm 100% sure it should get nominated for is Best Director, just because Ikuhara is an actual big name director, and Carol and Tuesday because Watanabe also. 2 really big name directors did stuff this year. That's also interesting.
Yeah,
actually,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I thought it would be cool to do Studio of the Year just because there are some studios sort of dominating the year, like Bones, like
Wit,
Madhouse's. Yeah, Wit, big one for the year also. So yeah, I thought that would be a cool category to throw in there.
Cool.
So
cool.
Everyone look forward to it. I'm very excited.
Exciting to look forward.
I'm waiting to announce the judges until after nominees are made because I don't want Kitsu users harassing judges to put in their favorite anime as a nominee. So
yeah,
keeping that shit quiet until
I feel it. But yeah, that's gonna be exciting, and I plan to go all out for the production.
Promote the shit out of it, and if you see anybody else saying they're gonna do one, tag me.
Yeah, we were first.
We'll take care of them
because I was first.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we are at the end now. Now that we got everything out of the way. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Appreciate y'all. You guys can check out a VOD of this on the Twitch channel or check us out on YouTube as well, where we upload the podcast about 2 days before or when I stop being lazy and actually decide to edit it. Also, you can find us on every single podcast platform where they have podcasts. You just look up Anime Social Club and we will appear there. Also, share this out to where you share things. Subscribe, like, comment, rate. Everything helps us get bigger and grow more. I am not missing anything. Join the Discord, exclamation point Discord in the chat or links below. Other than that, get on Kitsu. You guys are awesome and great. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for an awesome stream. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.